So why are you holding yourself back from doing something that you always wanted to do and you've dreamed of because you're scared of what the invisible people are gonna think? Hey y'all, what is up? It's Jason on 2, Jason on the track, and we're back with another video. Let's go! You wanna talk, and I can be the black boy, you can be the top, I can be the mom, yeah, when the sky comes falling, even when the sun don't show. But in today's video, y'all, I am just gonna be sharing all the lessons I learned in 2024 so you don't have to learn them while I do my skincare, because I just love chit-chatting with y'all while I do my everything skincare. So if you need any of the things that I use, they will all be listed down below, but I will also show you a picture right here for each thing. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my hair up. And now that I put my hair up, let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, I'm gonna start with my oil face wash because I double cleanse. Y'all, if y'all don't double cleanse, y'all really need to get into it. It's a 10 out of 10. It's make my face look brighter. But while I do that, let's talk about the first lesson I learned so you don't have to. And that's, you have to give up temporary comforts for long-term success. Like, I get it, babe. You love to sit at home all night and doom scroll because it's comfortable. You love to eat out because it's easy and it's quick. But I know that all of that seems so great right now, but think about what the trade-off is. You're going to be stuck in the same place, in the same job, making the same amount of money, living the same okay life, all because you couldn't put your phone down and make a plan, or you couldn't get off of Amazon and not buy that thing that you really don't need. Okay, when I tell you this year, I have sacrificed so much for my goals, which my main goals this year have been to save money, really get into my creative space, like with YouTube and content creation, because it's just something that I love. And then also prepare myself so that I'm ready, like when I go to medical school. But to do all of those things, I've had to give up a lot of comforts. Y'all, I haven't bought no new clothes this year. The only things that I buy is skincare, vitamins, and stuff that makes me healthy. So like gym fits and stuff like that. But when it comes to things that don't feed my goals, I don't do that. Like even down to how I spend my me time. For example, when I'm at work, y'all, we're allowed to listen to music, or like we're just allowed to listen to sound. And even though music is a nice little comfort, I don't even do that anymore. I listen to podcasts all day. You know, another one of my goals is to be a polyglot. I'm pretty sure I've spoken this before. And I realized that when I was teaching myself French, it took me so long to learn because I just didn't want to force myself to sit down and immerse myself in something, to immerse myself in French. And that's what made it hard, because how well can you really speak something, or how well can you really know a culture if you don't spend any time in that culture? You know what I'm saying? So this year, now that I'm trying to learn Spanish, like I did learn French, it just took longer, but now that I'm trying to teach myself to learn Spanish, I don't watch any like shows in English. I only listen to Spanish podcasts or French podcasts occasionally to like help with, to make sure I'm still fluent, because they're so similar. It's gonna suck, but it's gonna work out for you. You know, like another thing that I gave up this year was living on my own. I am 24 and yes, I do live with my mom. Okay, and it didn't have to be this way. If you go back to my earlier videos, I was living by myself. But the issue with it is rent was taking up so much of my money that I couldn't focus on saving. I couldn't focus on upgrading my content. I couldn't focus on those things because I couldn't take a more laid back job. And I also couldn't afford to fit it into my budget. But now that I'm back at home with my mom, which I'm so blessed that she even allowed me to do so, it's definitely allowed for me to have that space. But it is uncomfortable at times because I'm 24 and technically I don't have my own space. But in the bigger picture, y'all, it's all good. So the next time that you get comfortable in those short-term comforts, just think about what you're having to give up, like I did, and you'll learn it's worth it. Okay, I'm gonna wash this off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use my CeraVe. This is a foam water-based cleanser that I use afterwards. Now that's my first lesson. Now let's get into my second lesson. This year I learned the difference between something that is just difficult to obtain because it requires a lot from a person, and something that is difficult to get because it's not meant for you. Okay, now let me explain. So I feel like a lot of us are groomed, especially in American culture, to think that things are never supposed to be easy. Things are supposed to be hard to get. You're supposed to put in hard work. You're supposed to have determination. Through all of the stress and through all the struggles, you're just supposed to keep going. But sometimes those struggles are signs that what you're asking for is not meant for you, and you just don't want to listen. Okay? So the way to really know the difference is something that is just difficult to obtain is going to be something that's difficult for everyone. So we could just talk like a college degree. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who wants a college degree, they all talk about the burnout. They talk about having to balance the classes, having to sacrifice their relationships, having to sacrifice their sleep, their body, their mind, all of these things to obtain this degree. Everybody is going to have a difficult path with that. But something that is difficult because it's not meant for you is when it's just things that are coming in your way that make no sense. Okay? Like, for example, we can take Risa Tisa from January. You saw how that turned out. And what happened? Her car broke down when she first saw him. Okay? And then even after she went on the date, there were still signs. There was still things that were making that path difficult for her to continue with, yet she continued with it because she wasn't seeing it for what it is. So that's a lesson that I learned, and I hope that you guys really take from me, because not knowing that lesson, it costed me time, it costed me tears, it costed me pain. It cost me a lot of things that I could have avoided had I just sat back and really asked myself, why is this hard? Is this for me? And for me, I'm religious. I believe in God. So another thing that I feel like would have made this easier is if I had asked God, is this meant for me? There's a lot of things that I felt like I was continuously doing because I wanted them. And I thought they were for me. Whole time, that's him trying to show you, wait. But wait. This is not what you want. Wait. Go another way, oh, wait. But seriously though, sorry, I'm being like so for real. So just do that next time. You know what I'm saying? Just ask yourself, why do you want this? Why is this so hard? Is it difficult for other people? And then, if all that fails, ask God if he wants you here. And pray to him to show you if it's not for you. And I guarantee you, whenever you pray for God to show you something, baby, he's going to show you. He's going to do it. Okay, so before I get into my next lesson, y'all, I went ahead, washed my face, and y'all saw me dry my face. So now I'm going to go in with my toner. I use the Niacinamide Brightening Toner. It's going to be right here, but I can also show it to you. Y'all see that? With this, I like to use cotton rounds to apply it to my face. And y'all, you do not need a lot. Actually, 2 or 3 dots will do the trick. 4 if you just feeling a little spicy. Now let's get into my third lesson of 2024, which is no one cares what you're doing, so you shouldn't care either. Okay? You want to be an actor, you want to sing, you want to rap, you want to chase that dream that for everybody else seems like a 0 out of 10. I promise you and I guarantee you that they really don't care. I'm telling you, y'all, when I first started, you know, like really trying to do my YouTube or just like do content creation, a lot of my content is outside of my house. And so it was so weird for me because I was scared like, oh, they're gonna be judging me, they're gonna be thinking about what I'm doing. Whole time, y'all, I put the camera up and people don't even act like the camera is there. I'm telling you, they don't care. So why are you holding yourself back from doing something that you always wanted to do and you've dreamed of because you're scared of what the invisible people are gonna think? All you're doing is stopping your full potential. Like Dolce, this video surfaced from her from 2019, and she said what would happen this year, and she's talking about 2019, if I just didn't care. She said it in a lot of different words, but I'm not trying to cuss on my channel. But she basically said, like, what if I just stopped caring what people think? If I just lived my life free of judgment on myself, free of judgment from other people, how would that look? And now look at her. She is the princess of rap. she was able to let that fear go, and look what she was able to create. And a lot of the books and podcasts and videos that I've been watching this year, because I'm really goal set on being something great. Y'all don't know what greatness is in store, but I am dead set on being great. And so I feel like in order to get greatness, you have to surround yourself by greatness, but you also have to pour into what is already great. So watching podcasts, listening to books, listening to interviews, listening to videos, those are all ways for me that I can do that. And with all of those successful people, one thing that I've continuously seen is, number one, they were delusional. And in order to be delusional, there's a level of you can't care what other people feel. You can't care what other people think. All it takes is a delusional dream and effort. So please stop caring what them people think. I learned that this year, and it's been so freeing. Like, even though the community's not big, even be able to have y'all is just so special to me. Like, I'm able to make these connections. It's something I never thought that I would be able to do. It was something I was so afraid of doing, because y'all, I might seem like an extrovert on this camera, but y'all, I'm an introvert and I'm a homebody. So I was sitting here like, I done had this dream since Silly Bands was being traded. I don't know how we're gonna make it work, but we're gonna make it work. I'm supposed to be doing stuff while I do this. Hold on. Okay, now y'all, I'm gonna put this face mask on. If y'all watch my other chit chat with me, y'all seen what it is, but if y'all haven't, it's this Chill So Mint soothing mask with peppermint. I think I'm gonna change mask, not because it's not good, but I just want to see what else is out there. This mask is a 10 out of 10 though. It's very soothing, like they say, very calming. If you want a relaxing mask, she's the one. But that point, and like how I ended off by talking about pouring yourself with, pouring into yourself by listening and feeding yourself with successful things or people or books or podcasts or a mindset or early routine, whatever that looks like, that leads into the next point that I learned from a lot of these people, is that failure is also the first sign of success. Okay, and y'all might be like, girl, but you failed though. How was that successful? The success comes from what you learn in the failure. A lot of the times, the people in these household names, I'm going to be looking over here because I got to get this right, but I'm talking to y'all, is a lot of the household names that y'all know now, that first song, flop, okay? That first YouTube video, 0 out of 10. That first stream, negative 3,000. But what all of those successful people took from that is they took, what could I change to do better? Whenever you fail, guys, you gotta stop looking at it as something negative, y'all, because I definitely did. For me, my biggest failure this year is the fact that when I started this year, I was a year post-grad and I got rejected from every single medical school that I applied to. It is a dream I wanted and had for as long as I could breathe, it feels like. When it really set into me that this dream that I've had since I was young was not gonna come true, I felt like the biggest dummy ever. I felt like an idiot. I was questioning my whole life existence. So what am I here for? If I'm not here to be a doctor, if I can't cut it as a doctor, who am I? What am I? It took for me to not get into school to ask myself, well, who are you gonna be outside of when you become a doctor? If you become a doctor at this point, y'all. And I learned, number one, who I am outside of that, so that's success. Then the second success is, now that I'm in this new cycle, I'm in this new journey, instead of me having to go where I maybe could have gotten accepted into, I'm able now to go where I want to go, because that lesson to me was patience. That was something that journey taught me, is a lot of things aren't going to happen in your time, and they're going to happen when they're supposed to happen in God's timing. You just learn from your failures and start to see them. There's a positive. There's a light in every darkness. It might not seem like it, but darkness is only created because it consumes all the light around it. So therefore, there is scientifically light within the darkness. So you just gotta find it. Now I'm gonna let this mask set before I go ahead and get into the rest of the lessons I learned this year. But one thing I did want to mention, y'all, is this isn't technically part of my skincare routine, but I started really doing this, and so y'all gonna see me do it as part of my skincare routine. Is I started doing these teeth whitening strips. Now I'm only doing these for 7 days. That's why I say it's not a permanent part, but I wanted to do it, y'all. So I'm gonna brush my teeth first, let this dry, and then put my strips on with y'all. Okay, y'all, so I went ahead and brushed my teeth, and before I do this, I did want to add one more thing when I was talking about, you know, look at your failures as a form of success, because there is success in the failure. I did want to also mention that sometimes when you receive a failure in the way I did, right? So something that stops you from getting to your next goal. Sometimes that's because you need the rest. Sometimes this is not the time. Like, we are humans, and yes, we're supposed to constantly elevate, but we also sometimes just need to live in the here and now so that we can just breathe. And I will definitely say that that's another lesson that I was able to get. I've always, like I was telling y'all, been really focused, and what comes with that focus and that drive is never allowing yourself time to just be, and to sleep, and to eat when you want to, and to read a book all day, and to be lazy and take trips that have no meaning. Like I'm telling y'all earlier, yes, you do need to walk with the purpose. You do need to have a goal, but sometimes it's okay to let the goal rest. It's okay to not think about the goal, because the goal is still going to be there if you take 24 hours to yourself. And I obviously needed more than 24 hours. I needed 2 years, but it really was for the best, y'all. I was very burnt out when I graduated, so it did, definitely. So sometimes that is also the reason why you're not getting what you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these strips on, but I would say one thing that I do, because I feel like it adheres better, is I dry my teeth. I'm not gonna dry my teeth on camera. I feel like that looks silly, but just know that I did dry my teeth. She pulled up with her friends, then we skirt off in the Benz. Took her back to my crib, and I regret it. She tryna feel like she's asleep. Top ones. Now put the bottom ones on. I'm like, oh nah, she gotta go. Ask me her name, I swear I don't even fucking know. They wanna know how to get it. Okay, y'all, they're in. Okay, go see. I'm gonna put y'all all over my mouth for a second. Can y'all see them? These have to stay on for 45 minutes, so I'm gonna start my timer for that. And then whenever this dries, I will be back with my next lesson, because I want y'all to get every single lesson I learned, so y'all do not have to do no repeats. Sometimes for me, I think it's best to learn from other people and not from doing it yourself. Hey y'all, so I'm back. First things first, let me take off these strips. I love taking these off, y'all. I just feel like it's so satisfying. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's the sound or whatever, but I love it. Okay, do the top one. Love that. I really want to get like the Granda ones, because I feel like they have a tighter fit to your teeth. So when people be pulling those off, I just be like, yeah, I like this. This is the right after. I know my face mask is a little splashy this time around, but I don't know. I've been trying to use a thinner layer than a thicker layer, because I don't think it really does anything. I'm gonna wash this face mask off and talk to y'all while I do so, because I like to, it has like little pearls, so I like to exfoliate. I think that's the right word to use. And we can get into my next lesson. My next lesson is, don't let your reality stop your future. I think a lot of us, including myself, get stuck in how we feel in this moment, and we forget that what we do today does affect what we do tomorrow sometimes, because we're just so frustrated with our job, or we're just so tired today, or you know, we came home and the house was a mess, or just all these different things that keep us in the here and now, that we can put aside the things that can help us later. So you just gotta remember and keep your goals at the forefront of your mind, but not only do that, for me, even though I keep my goals at the forefront of my mind, I was struggling a lot of times with continuing to do them because I didn't have a plan. I truly now understand why successful people wake up at 5 a.m. And I don't think it's for the cliche reason of like how a lot of us feel, oh, if you don't wake up early, then you're lazy. I feel like it's because it is a routine. You know what I'm saying? You wake up that early, you eat, you do your fitness, you do your to-do list, you write all these things down, or you even do some work a little bit earlier. And having that little routine allows for you to not fall into your laziness when you're having moments where you're not motivated, because nobody is motivated all the time. And like, what you feel right now is temporary. Some do stay a lot longer than others, but at the end of the day, that sadness is going to go away. It might take a lot longer than you think or like you feel, but in time, you will have a happy day. In time, that job won't stress you out. In time, you won't have to come home to an apartment that's empty or use every last piece of your money to pay your rent so you can't even go outside and get yourself something on the dollar menu of McDonald's. It will pass, but it will pass only if you control what you can. Hold on, let me finish washing this off. The next step is going to be all of my mini things, so taking care of any pimples I have on my face, any dark spots, and my under eye patches. Just remembering that lesson to always control what you can, and don't let the things you can't control ruin your day or ruin your tomorrow. The next lesson that I learned in 2024 is sometimes you're gonna have to speak up even when you feel like it's not necessary, or even when you feel like you don't want to give that type of energy, so you'd rather let it go. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that you should just let go. But at least for me, I am a recovering pushover, okay? I am a recovering people pleaser. So to all of my recovering people pleasers and pushovers, you have to tell people what they're doing is not okay. Like you have to say it stern, you have to say it firm, because sometimes when you let stuff slide the first time, that's all they need. Like I used to be the type of person where it's like, okay, well, you only did it once, so I don't really know if it's a pattern. It don't need to be a pattern. One and done. You gotta teach people how to treat you and let them know the boundaries. And don't let them cross them. And if they attempt to cross them, because you will have people where you will tell them your boundaries and they will continue to just try and gray that line. You drew the line in the sand, and all of a sudden they throw a rock over it to see how that's gonna fare. And all of a sudden they teetering and stepping on it. Next thing you know, the line don't exist. You gotta, those type of people too, you have to definitely tell them. And it's harder to pick those people out because they do it so slightly. A good indication that somebody is like that is when you create a boundary or you say something that you mean and they question you too many times. Like, it's okay for somebody to need understanding or clarification on what you say, but let's just say, for example, you have a really big boundary. You're dating, right? I feel like it's easier to do dating. Let's just say you're dating and your boundary is you don't date anybody that smokes. Simple, cut to the point, right? So you tell somebody that, and then all of a sudden it's, but why not? Cool, clarification, one-on-one, cool. But when they keep pushing it and they start trying to change you by saying, oh, so you just being judgmental, like why this, why that, why this, question every single thing that you got, they're trying to push your boundary. They're trying to change your boundary so that it can fit whatever narrative or whatever they need. Those type of people you need to watch out for, babes, and you need to just keep it firm. And sometimes keeping a firm line is leaving them in the dust. Sometimes words are not enough. Action is the only thing. Action is the only way. Just pick your stuff up and go. I don't believe in long paragraphs. I never believed in those. But I strongly do not believe in those, because you need to leave people where they had you messed up at. And they don't need a long paragraph book of where they had you messed up at, because they know. They do. They do. When you tell somebody, oh, don't do that, I don't like that, now they know where the error is. So now when they do it, they know where you stand and they're showing you that they don't care. You don't need to give any more energy to that. You don't need to. You can tell them again depending on how important they are, but at some point when you realize the words are not working, you just gotta use them 2 feet that God gave you and exit stage left. Okay. We get into the end, y'all. So my next one for y'all is that love will come when it wants, so stop forcing it. And no, I'm not in a relationship, but I feel like this year I spent a lot of my year trying to figure out, why is it not me? Why am I not in love? And especially during the holiday season, you see a lot more couples, you see a lot of that type of stuff. So it can become really easy to hone in on yourself to try and figure out, well, what's going on? Or to just try and go the extra mile to put a person in your vicinity. But sometimes not having somebody to love in that way is good. Sometimes it's okay to not have somebody to love because the person that you're meant to love is, you are not able to meet them where they're at yet. You feel me? Okay, I got you. If you don't, I got you. Think about LMA, right? I don't know who her man's name is, but he's a basketball player, you know, very high status. LMA was making vines, singing music. Now imagine, because she could have met him then, right? She could have met him then, but LMA to me always gave she wanted to be a singer. She always gave that she had these goals. She had this life that she wanted to live. If she had met him then, she wouldn't have been able to achieve some of the things that she was able to achieve, because some successes you have to walk alone. And some successes require you to trade things that would come with having a person to love. Time is the most simplest one. You have to have time to get to know the person that you're supposed to be with. And if you're focused on a goal, which it's not a problem, sometimes you cannot have both. You feel me? You can't. Okay, but I'm gonna continue this after my eye patches dry. These gonna dry for 20 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, y'all, I'm back. They're dry. I actually let them dry for a little bit longer because I ended up cleaning. But now I'm gonna go ahead and moisturize the leftover serum into my eyes and then put on my nighttime night cream. But while I do that, let's keep talking. So like I was saying, you know, when you wait for love to come to you, it allows for you to be ready to receive the love that you deserve. Whenever you try and shortcut it, I feel like you get a shortcut version of love, and that's why it don't be lasting. I'm not saying love is easy, or, you know, maintaining a healthy relationship will ever be a walk in the park, but I definitely feel like when y'all both have been able to be there, like with LMA, now that she's established in her art, she's able to take time off and not feel like she's having to give up one for the other. Or in all honesty, she was able to be in the circles to meet him in a way that gave organic. You know what I'm saying? Because probably a lot of the women he was meeting at that point in his life, it was probably through the DMs, nothing serious, nothing whatever. But when you're able to run in those circles, you're able to have normal flowing conversation. So don't rush it, babes. I'm still kind of learning that myself too, because we're humans and we're not meant to be alone. But I definitely feel like it's a lesson for me to let it happen when it's supposed to happen. Especially because on top of that, y'all, I've tried to make it happen and all it does is leave me stressed out, or something bad ends up happening. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, focus on yourself. Oh, okay, that's cool, that's great, you know, it's fine. And then the last lesson that I want to leave you with is, when you truly lean on the Lord and you give him your stresses, your desires, the things that feel like they are weighing you down, he will come through for you every single time. But you have to truly give it to him, okay? Hold on. Next up is a lip scrub. The lip scrub I'm going to be using is St. Ives. And the reason why I put such an emphasis on give it to him is because a lot of us will say, you know, I trust him, I know he's got it, and then stay up at night and worry. One of my favorite sermons to this day is this guy was talking about, I don't remember like the specific story, but the scripture he kept pulling out just kept talking about how the person in the Bible kept on resting. Like, even through all of his strife, even through all of his pain, at the end of the day, he went home, and when he hit that pillow, he went to bed. And the reason why he did that is because he had truly given his worries to him. Because honestly, when you give your worries and your stresses to him fully, there's a weight lifted off your shoulders. And I mean that, because I had to learn that you cannot do it all on your own. You cannot do it all on your own on the earth, as in by yourself. You do need friends and family. You do need a support system, and you cannot do it alone in a spiritual sense without him. You can get to a certain point without him, but at the end of the day, life is hard and life is rough. So the next thing that I'm going to put on is this lip mask. My best friend had got me this LANEIGE lip mask kit. And I'm just gonna try, I pulled out the pink one, y'all, but I think I want to try the yellow one. It's mango flavored, or it's mango scented. And then it comes with this cute little, like, scraper thing. But yes, when you truly give it to him, there is a sense of calm that comes over you. So if you feel like you've given it to God, or you're truly trusting his path, but you're still stressed out, that's your sign that you haven't. You haven't. And if you haven't given it to him, how is he going to fix it for you? If you're still holding on to the steering wheel, how is he ever going to put you in the right direction? You still going where you want to go. I'm going to let that sit with you. But that is the last thing that I have for you guys. And there is one more step. And that is just my Bakuchiol oil. It's to help reduce fine lines. I know I don't have any fine lines yet, but I really treat skincare like preventive care. Okay, stop it before it even shows up. You feel me? But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you guys take the lessons that I had to learn this year and learn from them so you don't have to learn them. And once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you did like this video, please leave me a like or a comment. And I can't wait to see y'all in my next video. Happy New Year's!